Okay, hello everybody, this is Big Bang Crypto. My name is Sam and welcome to another video. Now, I want to talk about the altcoins in this video, but before we get into it, I want to take a look at Bitcoin's live chart and tell you what I see right now. And like I said in my previous video, it was very likely to come down to this yellow line, find support and move up when we're below this daily exponential ribbon, and this is exactly what we're seeing right now. So Bitcoin came up very nice and found resistance on this blue line. In one of my previous video I talked about this blue line, that it will be a big resistance level in the next days, and when Bitcoin breaks this blue line upwards and is above the daily exponential ribbon again, it will find resistance on this blue line, so around $11,500, and this one is around $10,500. Now, these blue lines are very important because something very similar happened back in 2015 when we had our first wave at that time. So I found these blue lines considering the price movements back in 2015, and these blue lines started way back at the end or on the way down when we reached $20,000, and this is exactly what happened back in 2015. And so as you can see, this first blue line played a role on the way down, so we had this support and resistance, and this blue line also played a big role, so playing support and resistance on the way down. And so these are very strong lines, and this is why I say it is very likely that they will play a big role in the next days. And as you can see, after coming all the way down, we came up to this blue line and found resistance. So it is playing a role, and like I said, very important is to wait for the day when we break this blue line, move above the daily exponential ribbon and find our first resistance on this one, because then we have a very important situation, and we're in the middle of the altcoin pump at that time. Now, what I think is very likely is that Bitcoin will move in the next days below this blue line and is not able to break it really. Maybe it comes a little bit higher, but it won't be able to break this blue line. If this happens and Bitcoin is about to move about a daily exponential ribbon, then I think it is very likely that we come up to this blue line, to $11,500, where we find resistance and come back down to test the daily exponential ribbon or the 20 EMA. So this is very, very likely, but like I said, I don't think that this will happen very soon. So something around 1 week, 2 weeks, I think Bitcoin will be moving sideways below this blue line before it starts to break it. Maybe there is a time where it will try to do that, but will come back down. So this could happen at some point, but like I said, important is moving above the blue line and the daily exponential ribbon as well, closing above it and testing this blue line. All right, now going to the altcoins, because the big question is, when will the altcoin pump start? So this is something that I said, that when we have this price movement, that the altcoin pump is very, very near. And now I want to take a look at the altcoins compared to the US dollar, but to understand what I'm talking about, I want to show you something very important about Bitcoin. So I don't know if you know that, but just want to take a look at the time after reaching nearly $20,000. So Bitcoin was moving inside of this falling wedge. all right, and at some point it break below it, so this was kind of false breakout, and then it started to move up, and this is where we are right now, so the first wave. And what is important is, so after $20,000, Bitcoin was falling inside of a falling wedge, all right, and very close to the corner of this triangle, it showed us a breakout and then started to move up, all right. So this is very important, this falling wedge formation, which is a bullish formation. Now let's have a look what the altcoins are doing, because I say that the altcoin pump didn't start, and I want to take a look at if we can find something similar to this to say, all right, something is about to happen. Now when we take a look at Litecoin, for example, what you can see is after the highest point around $370, Litecoin also was falling inside of a falling wedge, and at some point, this was at the beginning of this year, Litecoin broke out upwards and showed us this nice movement going up to nearly $145. All right, so very similar to Bitcoin, and right now we can't see a real price action. And I don't know if you know that, but when you think about the last Litecoin halving, something that happened at that time was that let's say 3 to 4, 5 months before the halving, Litecoin was moving upwards, and at some point it came down very close to the halving, and this is exactly what is happening right now. And what I think is very likely is that Litecoin will also be moving kind of sideways, because back at that time it started to come down when it was around the halving. It moved kind of sideways, and at some point after the halving it started to move up again. All right, and what you can see right here is again a kind of falling wedge, and you can also see that the volume is declining, but not that fast. So I think Litecoin will break out of this falling wedge, but be moving sideways, moving a little bit higher, and at some point we will have a real powerful movement. Now IOTA. So this is very important. Like I said, I invested in IOTA. Now what you can see is, let me take away, it's okay. So what you can see that is after the highest point, so around $6, Litecoin had this massive correction, and then started to move or to fall inside of a falling channel. Maybe it is a kind of a wedge, I don't know. But something that is very important is that it found support on this line, it found resistance on this line, and this is exactly what is going on right now. So it came down to this point and found support, and then started to move sideways and to the other side, so to this yellow line, and now is testing it. All right, and I think that IOTA is very close to the point where it will break out of this formation of this falling channel or wedge or whatever this is. So, and this makes totally sense to me after all I've seen and all I told you, because I said we're very close to the altcoin pump, and when you see this formation, all right, this is a kind of a proof for me. Now, something that is possible is that IOTA falls down. All right, this is also possible that it won't break out upwards. It could fall down, but I don't think so. Now, why do I don't think so? Because, I mean, at the end of 2018, so over a half of a year, IOTA finds support on this line. So this is a very, very strong line. This is a very strong line. And it couldn't, or it isn't it wasn't below this yellow line yet, purple line yet. So this is a very important sign for me. And when you take a look at the volume, let's do like this so you can see it much better. When you take a look at the volume, it is absolutely declining. Right? It is declining like crazy. So a breakout or a explosive movement is very likely in the next hours. It could happen in the next hours, tomorrow, but it will come. All right, so it's very likely. And like I said, this is a very strong support level, and so I think that it is very likely to see IOTA move upwards. Now somebody could say, all right, this looks like a descending triangle, which is a bearish formation, but in this situation that we're in right now, I think it is more likely to break upwards. And even if we come down, this could be a nice trading chance because you have your stop loss, and then you can trade this because I think it is very likely to move upwards. When we take a look at Ethereum, Ethereum did something very similar to Bitcoin. So what you can see is this falling wedge formation, very similar to Bitcoin after reaching the highest point, so it's all-time high. It was moving inside of this and then broke out upwards and started to come up. So from nearly $80 all the way up to $366, so over 4x. This is very likely to Bitcoin because Bitcoin came from $3,000 to $14,000. So it makes a lot of sense. And like I said, we have a falling wedge formation. We have this bullish breakout. And now Ethereum is coming down, finding support on this blue line. And again, shows us this wedge formation, falling wedge formation, and I think it is very likely that it will break out upwards. And as you can see, the volume is also declining, and so I think that something will happen in the next days, but I don't expect to see an explosive movement of Ethereum. Ethereum moves a little bit slower than the other small altcoins, all right, but it will come, and then you will see it will start to move upwards. So let's say from $180 will go up slowly, 190 and 200. So not that explosive, but we will see a upwards movement. Now Cardano, well, this is the trading view chart, Bittrex chart, and we don't have the all-time high, so this chart starts in the middle of 2018. But what you can see is that we also have this falling wedge formation right now, all right, so a bullish formation. And what you can also see is that the volume is declining, all right. So this is the daily chart, and that means a breakout is very, very likely. Now something that is possible is that Cardano comes a little bit lower than that, but we are very close to the point of a breakout. And again, this is a proof for me that the altcoins will show a reaction, because a lot of them are showing us these kind of formations right now, declining volume like I showed you. So something is something will happen in the not so distant future, and we're seeing clear signs of that. When we go to NEM, what you can see again is that after the highest point, NEM fell down and is now moving inside of this, well, falling channel or wedge formation, whatever. It found support on this line and then moved slowly to this resistance line, and right now it's doing something very similar to IOTA. It is fighting with this resistance line, and it is very, very close to a breakout. like you can see, once again, the volume is declining very, very heavy, and you also could make something like this and say that this is a falling wedge formation, so inside of this bigger channel, and that this is a bullish formations. And as you can see, it is so close to a breakout, very, very close. And like I said, volume is declining, as you can see, really heavy. All right, really heavy. So yeah, it makes totally sense to me when I say that we are very close to the altcoin pump. We are very close to that, because they all are showing us the same signs. And this is not something that you can say, well, no, or you can't doubt that. So we're seeing clear signs. And yeah, so what do we have also? EOS, for example. Now EOS had these two crazy movements, and was also moving inside of a falling wedge, and did something very, very similar to Bitcoin, so breaking out downwards, although this is a bullish formation, but then came up exactly like Bitcoin, came up, and it was down at $1.60 and came up to $8.60. So this is very nice, very similar to Bitcoin and Litecoin or Ethereum. So these bigger altcoins, all right, these bigger altcoins show us the same movements. They had a really nice pump compared to the other altcoins, and now they're showing us this correction. But EOS also is showing us clear signs of a bullish formation right now. So you can make something like that and say that this is again a falling wedge formation. And when you take a look at the volume, you can see clearly declining volume. So something is very, very close. A breakout is very, very close. All right, so like I said, the altcoins are showing us clear signs that a movement is very likely. Now Icon came up to $13, fell down, is now moving inside of this falling wedge or channel, whatever, very, very similar to NEM or IOTA. All right, and now look what it did. It found support on this line, and it had this resistance line. We have this point, we have this point, and now moved all the way sideways. So, I mean, take a look at that, and now I show you IOTA again. So, you don't see a difference, all right? Or what was the other one? IOTA, I think it was NEM. Yeah, NEM doing the same. And now Icon. So it looks like the same chart, all right? So like I said, the altcoins are giving us clear signs that something is going on. And well, like I said, so support, and then it was moving sideways since November of last year. It is moving sideways from this line to this line, and now came all the way to this line, and right now it's finding resistance, but very close to a breakout, very close. Now again, when you take a look at the volume, you can make it like this, or you can make it like this. So very clear signs of declining volume. Something is very close, a breakout. And you can now again find falling wedge formation inside of it. All right, so bullish formation, so a breakout upwards is very likely. Declining volume. All right, now I don't know why I mean, I can't find anybody else talking about these charts. I don't know if you saw something similar to what I'm showing you, but these are clear signs, because I had this question: will the altcoin pump really come like I said? So I started to analyze these charts, and what I found is very, very interesting, like you can see, and we have clear signs. To me, these are clear signs. Now maybe somebody says no, but I think you can't deny what you're seeing. So for example, icon, all right, this is such a strong support line beginning in November of last year, and maybe this line started way back somewhere else that I can see right now, but okay. So this is a very strong support line. And although the altcoins had a bigger drop in the last days because of Bitcoin's massive drop, still this line is acting as support. Still, it didn't fall below this line. And like I said, falling wedge formation, bullish formation, declining volume, clear signs of a breakout. And so the altcoin pump still makes a lot of sense to me after what I've seen and what I'm showing you right now. So I'm very excited to see what you think about it. Please write it in the comments. And I hope you like the content. Give it a thumbs up, leave a like, subscribe, and join our Discord channel. Very helpful channel. And thanks to everybody what you're doing. And I want to tell you something, because some of you asked for donation and things like that. Thank you very much, but it is not necessary. It means more to me to talk to you, and one day I hope we can meet when the work is done. And as long as you're well, following me and talking to me inside of our Discord channel or in the comments, that's what makes me happy. And when I can help you to make money, this is the biggest thing for me. And I hope we can make this together. I'm really, really excited, and yeah, trying to share everything I find with you. So yeah, I hope you like it, and thank you very much for everything. Have a nice day.